Hey Team YouTube, it is full scale lawn care season here in the upper Midwest, and here I am picturing this is a chassis of a pressure washer, and on it is not the engine that it came with. This is a Tecumseh, and it is an H35 series, and this thing has been running for multiple years on another piece of outdoor power equipment that I have. It's just sitting here for now. The preface of this video, or the purpose of this video, is that we are going to be doing a motor swap. It seems like Predator engine swaps from our friends down at Harbor Freight are all of the rage these days to replace old motors, but why buy a Predator when you have the real Honda deal? I'm just focusing on this right now to show you what is kind of the carcass here. I will be taking a look at this motor and figure out what's wrong with it. But here we have the mounting hole pattern here, these 4 holes. And the subject for the video is over here. So let's talk about this here. This is an out of print. This is an out of production, out of business company, WW grinder, somewhere out of Kansas, that made a Chippewa chipper. And instead of that Tecumseh motor on it, I now have a Honda GX200. Let's see here. There we are. Gasoline engine on it, and I know this thing runs good. Fired it up on the first start, the first pull out of the shed, just because I like to get all of my power equipment out in the spring and fire it up and make sure they run good. So, why am I so interested in wood chipping? Well, it's because the pile of chips from the willow that sheds in the front yard. So we're going to go through and break down what exactly it is to do a motor swap and how easy it is. Ha! Look at this. Technology nested on technology. I'm using my inexpensive, included in plan $10 a month mobile phone or smartphone to get a nice shot of the underside of the wood chipper. As you can see, there are 4 bolts, and then there's also a take-up screw in the middle to tension the motor. The swap between the Honda GX200 and the Tecumseh 5-horse motor is literally bolt for bolt. No issues there. Let's move on to some other things. Next step, let's talk about power transmission. The original belt on my Chippewa grinder, and I have every reason to believe this is the original belt, is an FHP. That stands for fractional horsepower. 5L, that is the section of the belt, and then 320, that is a 32-inch long outer circumference belt. So would the Honda engine motor fit with the factory belt? The answer is, well, no, it wouldn't. And I tried, and this little lip on the gas tank was too close to the grinder tub here, so no go on that. So what did I do? Well, I got a couple of belts off of Amazon. I got the 5L 340, which is 34 inches in circumference, and I got the 5L 330. Well, the 33-inch belt was still too close for comfort. It would have been like, I just muscled this in here, it was super close, just right up on the metal. So, what do I have on here? I went ahead and selected the 34-inch belt. So, anytime you have to do a belt and a power setup, might be something you have to look at. So far, what do I have invested in making this motor swap? I have about a $12 belt from Amazon. These styles of belt, you can get them in pretty much any length, it seems, off of Amazon Prime, should you go that way. I'm sure they're on eBay too. But it's important to match the section of the belt. You know, if you imagine, you know, how thick it is at the top, how thick it is at the bottom, and then also how the section height of it, you know, all those things are important things to match. Let's talk about what else is needed. The shaft on the Tecumseh H35 series is however long that is. What do you think, 80 millimeters? Not quite sure, but it would behoove you to measure it out. I do know for sure that the diameter is 3/4 of an inch, and up at the front of the crankshaft, there is a threaded hole for a fastener. That's essential for the wood chipper. Of course, this is a pressure washer. It would not use that. It would use the face pattern of the bolts here on the front of the motor block. So actually, we're going to find out if this thing works good as the pressure washer engine. But back to the subject at hand. Okay, so what did I have to pull off? So first and foremost, we have, this is a clutch. This engages once it has a particular RPM. There is a key, and then there is another piece that goes on the front here, a bolt. And let me show you what I did with that. Should have set up the scene a little better here, but fortunately it's right here. So I had a 1-inch, 1/4-inch diameter fender washer that I took and I drilled it out because it fit pretty well that way. This is a 5/16 24 thread, so it's a 5/16 fine thread if you think about it that way. Don't go to Menards and get the 5/16 18. Won't work. This will just be bolted up here to hold all of this stuff on in case these set screws loosen up, which you know, they're not gonna. And also, what's the last thing for beltness is you want to make sure that how you ride on the pulleys is straight and square. And this, folks, I gotta tell you, Team YouTube, that is pretty darn straight. I'm very taken by how good this is. So the only thing left, of course, is the proof in the pudding to see if after I get all this thing wrenched together, tightened up, that it's gonna run good. And by the way, where'd that old belt go? Oh, here we are. The old belt, it was on its way out. Looky there. So yeah, it wasn't long for this world, so I would have had to done some belt research anyhow for that. Anyhow, I think maybe we'll have a, you know, just a faraway shot of the grinder. I got to show it in operation just to prove I'm not, you know, pulling y'all's leg. But as far as transferring over this motor, boy, this was quite easy. Almost no effort required. And the investment was a fender washer I already had on hand. I had to go to the Menards and get one fastener and a belt. So what, 15 bucks tops, and kind of needed the belt anyhow. So that's it, Team YouTube. Catch you on the flip side. We'll go grind up some sticks. Hey team, the belt guard is off, but we got it going here. Let's try some sticks in a few minutes. All right, Team YouTube, let's do this. Oh, come on, I already tested it. And that is satisfying. Have a great day, Team YouTube.